What up, YouTube? Darthub coming at you. I know everybody's tired of getting blown up by creepers, and I know that's also not going to stop you from wanting to fly your Elytra. Well, I've got an OP creeper farm here that says you ain't got to get blown up no more if you don't want to. This is after a few minutes. That's a stack and a quarter. That's a stack and a quarter. So that's 2.5 stacks in a few minutes. I let this baby run last night for about 6 hours. 6.5 hours precisely. And I got a full double chest, almost another full double chest, with almost a half chest, or with almost a full regular chest of string. 21 arrows, 19 bones. So you do get some skeletons. You get quite a few spiders, as you see. But what I did was I converted a mob spawner into a creeper farm. The mob spawner, courtesy of Redstone Wizard. I did not go back and look at the build, so it may not be exactly like his build, but it definitely was inspired by his build. I recommend that you go check it out. It's linked in the description. So let's get to building this bad boy. Alright, so for this build we're going to need 620 trapdoors. You're going to need 12 chests. You're going to need 28 hoppers, 16 campfires, 20 buckets of lava, 6 buckets of water. You want 12 signs. You want 19 pieces of redstone dust, 4 repeaters, 8 comparators, 2 redstone torches, 1 redstone block, 2 sticky pistons, 6 dispensers, 7 observers, at least 18 blocks of glass. You can see I used many more. And you want just a ton of your preferred building blocks. You're probably going to also want some slabs, and you're probably also going to, and in the time it took me to count up the materials in this bad boy, that's 1 chest, that's another chest, and I'm sure the top of one of these has something. Yep. And there they're dropping again. Alrighty, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start on the bottom here with 3 double chests, 1 on the ground, the other 2 right on top of each other. We're going to come behind these guys. We're going to put hoppers into the back of them like so. And then on this side we're going to place 3 more double chests, 1 right on top of the other. And then we're going to come behind them and place hoppers on the other side right into the back of them. We're going to come up here. We're going to then place a hopper on top of, pointing down into each one of those. I'm going to put 1 down into here, 1 off the back of there, followed by 2 more, like so. You're going to choose one of these sides. You're going to get 1 hopper each, and the other side you're going to get 2 hoppers each. Like that. Then we're going to go ahead and fill in the space underneath the hoppers. And right here what I like to do is I like to use sea lantern, glowstone, something like that. You can use stairs as well. You can use glass, anything that still lets these chests open. But then we're going to fill in the rest of it with just building blocks. So as you'll see, I also covered the side of the chests and hoppers so you can't see them. I also left this little portion out so you can get in and see these chests. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and wrap this around the outside. So you want a ledge underneath and around these hoppers. Okay, so once we've got this ledge, what we're going to do is let's go ahead and build up a wall just outside of it, and we're going to come around this. We're going to build this up too. Alright, so from this point what we're going to do is we're going to come in and out 1, and we're going to circle the outer perimeter of our hole here. Next we want to place signs like this. We skip the first one. 1, 2, 3. Next side. 1, 2, 3. And we line all the sides like that. And then from here we're going to grab our 20 buckets of lava. We want to place on each of these a full bucket of lava. That increases the chances that no spiders can get in and against that wall. In my 6.5 hour period, I had one spider stuck to that wall at the end. So it does happen. Okay, so then we're going to place our campfires on every one of these hoppers, and that is then our kill chamber. At this point, what we want to do is we want to take a block of some sort and block this off so you don't get pushed in there and so the smoke doesn't interfere with your building. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to come to this block here, we're going to come out. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll do that on all 4 sides. Then we're going to go ahead and fill this all in. Alright, so the next step we're going to take is we're going to come out and up 1, and then we're going to circle this entire thing like that. Then from here we're going to grab our block. We're going to come out. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on all sides. And what we're going to do is this is going to be a water channel, and it's going to go 7. That ensures that it falls off the edge here, and it's got 8 to travel, which ensures that it does not fall into the center. So 7 there. We're going to come to the other side. We're going to 7 out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and all 4 sides. And then you guessed it, we're going to go ahead and fill this all in. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come out and up 1 here too, and we're going to circle the whole thing. And what we're going to do is each corner is going to get a little 1 up on the 3 corner blocks, just like that. Okay, so with these like that, we're going to go ahead and break out our water. Have an infinite source standby. We are going to come not this one or this one, but 2 from there. You're going to place a bucket there, and then you can place another bucket here, and that makes this an infinite source you can then draw your water from, and then come out here and then grab another one and then continue on. So we're going to fill this whole side up until you're 2 away. Now if you place 1 here and 1 here, that becomes a source block, this becomes a source block, all these become source blocks, and it won't push you anymore. So make sure you stay away from those 2. Now we're going to go ahead and place water there in all 4 corners. Alrighty, so next what we're going to do is these middle 4 blocks, you're going to choose one of those, you're going to place a block on top of it. Now this counts as 1. You're going to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. This is how high I built mine. And then you place an observer here. So you're going to take that observer and you're going to place a block on top of it with a dust on top of it, and then your second observer with a block and a dust, and we're going to put 6 of them like that. So that's 3 block dust, 4 block dust, 5 block dust, 6 block no dust. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to choose a side, and this is coming out of this corner, so we're going to want to pick this block or this block to place it in. And that just makes sure that this is a little more centered. So this side or this side, you want it to go toward the center down there. And what we're going to do is we're going to, off of the block, not the observer, off the block, we're going to place a dispenser facing up. And we're going to do that in all 6. Okay, so then from here we're going to go ahead and grab glass. So it's less cost effective. You can place a regular block there. I'm going to place glass, but then we just do this little number here. So every block next to it has something there. That's going to be to keep, because we can't put trapdoors on the ceiling up above there, so that's going to keep anything from spawning on these 3. If you put trapdoors on the ceiling, that stops the water from spitting out of the dispenser from hitting the floor. It'll then take out your redstone dust, I believe. I haven't tested it, but either way, it's destructive for our means. So we will use the glass here. Okay, so that was the only glass that is necessary in this entire build, and you didn't even need the central ones. What we're going to do from this point on is we're going to count that as 1. We're going to come out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're going to come and we're going to fill this in like so. We're going to stagger to where each time we come out 1 less. And we're going to stop there at the dispenser. And if you did this right, you should have 8, and then the dispenser. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dispenser. Okay, so then we do the same thing here. And then across the back. Alrighty, so what we've got going on here is this dispenser is going to spit water on top of it. So let's go ahead and show you what that does. Oh. Got to put water in my hands. Place that there, and it does not come off this side because of that block. Has nothing to do with the redstone. So because it doesn't come off of these blocks, we'll go ahead and remove those. And now anything that spawns on this will be pressed off when the water comes out. So let's go ahead and get rid of that water block. And we're going to go ahead and create this platform on each and every one of these observers. And then we're also going to do the same right there off of that one for a ceiling. Alrighty, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and come under this thing. We're going to take a redstone conductive block and we're going to choose a side to come at. We'll go the way that we took the piece out of. Go that direction. So we'll come back behind that observer there, and then we're going to come out here. We will place a trapdoor on that block. And then we are going to come out the back here. I guess it doesn't really matter which side we come out of. So we'll place one here. And then off of that, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, just like so. And we're going to make a comparator pulse extender. So let's get our comparators out, and into that block we're going to place comparator, into that comparator, and into that comparator. So we've got 3 all facing in that way. And right next to those facing the opposite way, we want 1, 2, 3 all facing into each other. And we'll place a piece of dust there, dust here, dust here. And at this point we will then grab our 6 buckets of water that we want to place in our dispensers, and we'll go ahead and place all 6 of them. Alrighty, so with water in all 6 of the dispensers, if I give power to this long enough for all of the comparators to activate, it should send the pulse that I want. And a moment or so later it will close the gate, the trap door, and all these will draw back in. So there we go. Now we want this to be activated once every so often. So what I'm going to do is put a clock in here, and I am going to choose an Ethos Clock. So what we're going to do is, with our Ethos Clock, we're going to come out the opposite direction that we went beginning. And let's say we place our clock here. Does that look good? Yeah, so it's going to be down 1 from there. That was just to see that we've got enough room. And then that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You don't have to place the, well, yeah, go ahead and place these, because this is going to be basically the framework of the clock. So then from here we're going to take out these 2 blocks, and the center blocks here are going to be hoppers facing into one another. And then we're going to have comparators running out of the hoppers onto these blocks with dust on these blocks. Sticky piston facing in like so, just like that, and then we will put a redstone block up against one of those pistons, and then the hopper that does not have the redstone block up against it, we are going to place a stack of anything you want as long as it stacks up to 64. Go ahead and place that in there, and this clock will then be starting. So from here, what we want to do is let's go ahead and place a temporary block here with a trapdoor here. And what that's going to do is, so this hopper is draining, and as soon as it drains 100%, the other hopper is going to start draining into it, which means there's a brief moment when this has nothing in it. That brief moment, this light will turn off, that will close and open. It's very fast. So what I'm going to do there is I'm going to have an observer read it. So when that happens, it's only going to send one. It won't send more than one, like observers are wont to do. So from here, we'll go ahead and bring this like so. So you got one block out from the observer, two to this side, one to that side. Make sure this is all underneath. And then we'll put 1, 2, 3, 4 more, and that's underneath. And then we will place up 2, 3, 4 like so. What we're going to do here is we will run 4 pieces of redstone there, 4 pieces of redstone here. Now we want our repeaters on one tick, 2 ticks, 3 ticks, and 4 ticks. Doesn't matter which is which, just so long as they're in, you have one of each. And then we will go ahead and get rid of that and that so we can have our torch. So let's place torch right here. So we want to invert this signal. So bring one out, and with redstone dust we will run that line in here. Let's run a torch off of that with a block on top of that. So now every time this flashes, that will hit this, power that, and that's what this here is all about. This is to extend the pulse that comes out of the observer just long enough to activate this. And that right there is basically the Redstone Wizard's mob farm. I may have some slight differences. I did this from memory and haven't watched his video in over a month, but once again, the link is in the description. Go ahead and check it out. Alrighty, so before I did this, I tried to do this without first removing this piece of dust. Come in to your pulse extender, remove that piece of dust right there. That way this won't be trying to spit water while you're doing this part. So what you're going to do is place temporary blocks on top of each of the glass pieces that are on the floor there. And we're going to do this all the way up. And this simply makes it easier to place your trapdoors on the ceiling properly. So now that we've got that part out of the way, we're going to go ahead and every space here, we're going to place trapdoors on. So the entirety of the ceiling of every one of these floors. The places that you will skip, like on the top floor, you can place one there. But on the rest of the floors, because there's redstone right there, you're not going to be placing one. And also you've got the spot where the observer is, which consequentially is right above that. Each time you finish with one of these floors, go ahead and look and make sure you've got every last one of them, and then come over and remove your temporary blocks and then on to the next floor. And when you finish the very last floor, you're going to want to go through and inspect all the rest of them. All of them that you already did. Alrighty, so now that you've placed all those and you've double checked, go ahead and triple check, make sure, because your rates, you want those to stay high. So basically what you've done is skeletons and zombies are not supposed to be able to spawn with that above them. They just can't. Creepers are short enough they can though. Spiders will also spawn in here. I've got a few things set up to make the spiders not so bad. One of those things is the size of this down here. Another one of those things is that when they actually get down into this container here, they can't just climb the wall to get out. They got to climb this wall, and then there's a lip, so they can't get around that lip. On top of that, most of the blocks there have a sign on them, in which case they can't climb that block. And also, if they do get on this inside wall, most of them don't climb up fast enough to get away from the pain of the lava. So that's why all that generally takes care of most of the spiders. They will spawn, but they will be pushed out, and most of them won't be sitting there. The skeletons, I have absolutely no clue why they still spawn in here. There's not a single spot in here they should be able to spawn on, but they still do. You will notice as this goes that this going off will activate and unactivate those 3 doors. Doesn't really matter. If you don't like it, get rid of those doors and put glass on the ground underneath it. I just thought that was a better choice because of they cost less to make. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, and you want to figure out what the corners are here. You're going to bring those up to here, and I believe this is going to be 47 is going to be my height. But so you're going to want to bring these corners up to the height of this ceiling. So 46. And then you're going to want to bring that ceiling to these. So it's basically going to be a square ceiling. And what that does is that keeps all the light out of your farm. And then once you're done with that, make sure you go ahead and slab up the top. Alrighty, so honestly it would have been easier just to have slabbed up your roof and extended the slabs out to this area instead of making a whole roof and then slabbing the whole thing. But yeah, so anyway, I did that, and now I am later in the day for it. But anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to come over here, and we're going to make sure that we have our piece of redstone dust replaced, and we're going to make sure that our game is no longer in peaceful but is in whatever game mode you want. Now if you'll check this out, okay, my whole world here is nothing but glass, so that's a non-spawnable block. That helps the rates of this farm a lot. You've got to make sure that you get this farm somewhere where nothing is going to be spawning within at least 150 blocks of it. That will help your spawn rate. And if you'll notice, I forgot to take the blocks away, so my critters here could not get into the kill chamber. So one thing I suggest is check out Trav's channel. He does a lot of videos on building perimeters. I will put the first video on building perimeters that he has linked in the description here, so you can check that out. If you dig a perimeter about 300 across, 200-300 across, put this in the very center of that bad boy, should be no way anything could spawn around you. Slab the whole thing up. That would probably give you the exact same rates that I'm getting. If you like this video, go ahead and leave a like. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. Go ahead and check out my playlists if you like the content in this video. You'll probably like the content in some of my other videos, which you can find through my playlists. Haha! See ya!